Hello, welcome to the Koona API, or Application Programming Interface. Here, we offer a great portion of the box, pallet, and container calculation methods in our software, in our desktop software or our client-server software, to third parties so they can integrate with their software, with their own applications. In this example, we're going to use the Postman tool to calculate a pallet load and explain how each one of the results can be translated into useful information for use in third-party applications. The first step is to download the Postman app. We are expecting here a basic understanding of how Postman works. You can download Postman at the Postman site, postman.com downloads. Okay. And then after that, you can connect to the Koona API within the Postman listing. The link is available in our webpage, okay, and is also in this example. Here you will see that we have our API workspace and we have some contents which are called Postman collections. Right now we have added 2 of them, and we will use the one that it's a non-database pallet shipment. That means that we will calculate boxes on pallets, we will calculate a load of pallets, and the information of the boxes and the pallets are not available in the database, don't have to be in the database. So we click here, and we will see that we have this Postman collection, which is a collection of requests that we will do one by one, and we can also run them in the Postman application. Here you can request it, you can run it from inside, but you also need what we have here, the variables, to run each one of the methods. Okay, so what I'm going to do is run it from the Postman application, which looks a lot like the web page. From the Postman desktop application, and we're going to run this Postman collection. You see that there are 4 steps. The first step is to create a new shipment index. The second step is to add boxes to the pallet load, to the calculation. Okay, we add as many boxes as we need, right? In this case, we're just going to add one type. Then we calculate the pallets, and calculating those pallets will give us information about the pallet fill. It will give us the load length, the width, the height, the weight of each pallet, also tell us the area efficiency and volume efficiency. And we can also draw those individual pallets, which is the 4th step. So here in Postman, we have the requests. We have 4 requests in this collection. And the first one is to create a new shipment. Okay, we see that here we have parameters. In this case, it's only one parameter. It's a JSON parameter, right? And the body of the JSON parameter is here. And where we have the first 3 are variables that are used constantly in the collection. They're used in all steps of the collection. Okay. If you need this information, you will need this information, so you can contact us and request it to support@koona.com, and we can provide it. What we do here is add a shipment, and since the method is called pallet fills from shipment dims, that's what we're going to do. We have the address of the REST site, or we're going to request, and we just use send. When we do that, we get a result here. We get a shipment ID, which is the number that we will work with. There are many ways how to visualize this. If you're going to program your own application, you probably don't necessarily have to show this to the end user. But for example, here we just made a little script with visualization. It told us that the shipment ID is 1686. This is this number. We will use it in other steps. And it says here to replace a shipment ID collection variable with the number above, with this number. Okay, we added a little script here in Postman to be able to generate this visual output. So now we go on the next step. The next step is to add the box for the calculation. It uses another method, which is add box per calc, which is documented here. Add box per calc, it tells you what's the input, right? And we can see here there's more information. We have the box amount. The shipment ID is the one that we just calculated before, which is 1686. Well, we did that with the create new shipment method, 1686, and that's the number we're going to put. right? Then we have these other parameters, which are part of the input data and the ones that we have that we need to request for a test server, okay, which include a username and a password for basic authorization. And then we have other information regarding the box itself. We have a code to separate it from the rest of the box, description, class, color. We have length, width, height, weight, all the dimensions, and whether the box can be placed on its sides or not. Then a unit, because we work with millimeters, kilograms, and we work also with centimeters and inches. So the whole method is documented here. So here what we will do is add a box to the shipment. We see that the sample data, we have sample data that we can just replace. Okay, we have a length, width, and height and weight that we can replace that information. We have a sample box. And then if we just put edit, we click on send, there were no errors, and there was a box that was added with the number 51. If we visualize this, we see that the number is 51, but you don't have to do anything with that number because we already added the shipment ID, which is an important variable here. Okay, that's the next step. So for each type of box, in this case, we have 42 boxes, and then red, the color is red. And we have these boxes here that we added. And if we want to add more, we just add them again of another type. Repeat this method as many times as necessary. The third method, or the third request, is just to calculate the boxes themselves. Okay, so we see here, we have parameters. Okay, we have the calc information. Will tell us the dimensions of the pallet, the length, the width, the height, the weight, the maximum load length, maximum load width, height, and weight. Okay, all that information, the unit too, the load type, which is bottom, either bottom to top or by this back to front, and whether we will mix all the items in at once or just first have some types of items. Anyhow, this method is documented here in the overview. Okay, and also on our site. It explains all the parameters, all the input data, and it also explains the output. The output will give us a list of pallets that we calculate. Okay, so if we calculate, here's a body, an example data. All right, we click on send, which is a post method here. Okay, it gives us a result. Here, the result is a JSON, which is kind of hard to read. So we did a little visualization here, and we put it on a table. Turns out that those 42 boxes that we had added before fit in 2 pallets. The first one has 36 boxes, and the second one has 6 boxes. Okay, the area efficiency is one of 100%. You can put this number as a percentage. Here it's just over 1. And the volume efficiency is 73% on the first one and 12% on the other one because it just had 6 boxes. And you have the length, the width, and the height of the load, the weight, and we can put all the variables we want because we have a lot more variables here, resulting variables. And the last step of this collection, the last request, is to draw the pallets. Note that here we have the drawing ID, which is 113 and 114. We have 2 pallets to draw. So we just put 113 here, typed here 113 on this side, the drawing ID variable, and when we're going to draw it, we see that here, we're going to get this result later. We go to the body, and then this one of them is drawing ID. This drawing ID is this variable here, and we have the width and the height of the drawing itself. So we just click on send, and it produces a pallet. This pallet looks like this. It has 36 boxes. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 6 is 36. So this is the first drawing, right? The drawing ID 113 for the first pallet. And if we use 114, we draw it again. We get the second pallet. It only has 6 boxes on it. 36 plus 6 is 42. See, so what we did here in 4 steps was to calculate a pallet load. In this case, it only has one type of box, the red box is here. And we did it all within the Postman application, Postman API testing application, which is very well used. I mean, it's a popular application, so there are many people who know how to use it. So based on this, it's easy to reapply. It makes it easier to reapply our API to your needs, okay? Because you know what the input is, the output, the parameters, and this is all tested here. Okay. If you have any questions, just send us an email to support@koona.com. Thank you.